Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another exciting episode of T3PO Live. My name is VashSky, and I am going to be your host of today's ceremonies. Yes, very spooky season indeed right here, which is why we have the Halloween intro, which, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and thank my brother for rendering that off. That was 1 year ago right now, and I can only imagine what he can do today. Very interesting stuff right there. Maybe we'll update it. I don't know. Hey, look! It's Scream Park Casual out there in the chat, or as you know him, Theme Park Casual. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much for joining me on this amazing show right here. And we got DL Fendall, we've got Disney Fan 55, we've got Juliet modding for us, we've got Deborah. Awesome stuff indeed. Thank you so much for coming on in here. Oh, I think we have a Theme Park Wizard as well. Thank you so much. We have one heck of a show for you, and to kick it all off, we have to bring on our esteemed panelists to help us through these incredible stories. We have from the great beyond, Lou Wasserman's Ghost. We have Nolan Thunder, and MJ joining us, a fan favorite. Hello there, everybody. Good to see you all.
MJ's always got such a crowd with her. We all feel lonely by comparison.
Yes, she's accompanied by people who love her. There you go.
It's a better party
fantastic.
than the one at the end of Tiana's. That's all I can say. And more lively too.
Yes, I was about to say. It assumes everybody's moving right there. Very, very cool. Oh, Eric Stratton asking, "Are you on Critic List, Vash?" Not yet, but I will say. Some big news behind the scenes, as you all heard, that Park Place and Geeks and Gamers are getting together in order to deliver the news that you so want and value. And also, too, Critic List is joining up with Geeks and Gamers. So we're all kind of in this big old sphere right here. So I want to go ahead and get on Critic List as soon as possible. But the time, there is none of it.
Gosh,
we got
in the future, all restaurants will be Taco Bell at the rate we're going.
If you guys don't get the reference, oh boy, you should actually be watching the Demolition Man. I believe you guys did a genre guide.
Yes, we did. We did.
Oh, so good. It's fantastic right there. Well, let's go ahead and get right into it. MJ, you're gonna like this story because you were the one who actually brought it to my attention, and I told you that, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and cover it on T3PO Live, and that is exactly what we are doing. This one, this one's hard to report on because, when you see a major refurbishment for a theme park attraction, you go, hey, great, progress. Maybe when that attraction comes back up, it'll be bright, shining, and new. It'll be worth the wait. Unfortunately, that's not what happened this time around. Here from Blog Mickey. Key ride element broken at Astro Orbiter following full rebuild at the Magic Kingdom, October 16, 2025, by, I believe, Mike over there at Blog Mickey. Oh, this just breaks my heart right here. Let's get into it. Guests riding the Astro Orbiter in the 4 months since it reopened have not been getting the full experience. A key ride element has been broken for months now, after working very briefly when the attraction reopened this summer. As you may remember, the Astro Orbiter was closed for more than 5 months as Disney rebuilt the entire attraction. The central lift hill, or the central lift, is broken at the Astro Orbiter attraction and has been for months, according to cast members that we spoke with. The central column raises and lowers the entire attraction, above and beyond the joystick that guests control during the ride to make their rockets fly higher or lower. And this means that the attraction is operating at about half height at the moment. Here's a look at the before and after the central lift stops and starts working. You can see right there, that's at full height in that central column right there. And that's where all of those Astro Orbiter jets, I guess, radiate off from. You can kind of see it in the middle of your screen right here. And this is what it looks like at half height, which is no
lower
good.
Than half to me, doesn't it?
It looks lower than half to me, for sure. It looks like it's right. It looks like there's no lift at all actually taking place. And for an aerial spinner, which is it really only distinguishes itself from Dumbo because of the height actually that this specific version of this attraction actually provides. This is a big miss right here. And I bring this up because this might seem like a small thing, but this is this essential feature of this specific attraction. This was down for 5 months in order to provide us conceivably a good working attraction at the end of it. And that's not what we're getting here.
The moral of the story is when you're going to renovate a rocket ride, don't hire Obama's NASA, hire Elon's SpaceX.
I guess that's one way of looking at it right here. MJ, I want to go ahead and go to you first because you're more familiar with this attraction than I am. I believe I did write it in August of 2023 when I actually visited the resort the last time right here. And I love that this attraction is where it's at because, well, at Disneyland, it's actually not in the air anymore. It's at ground level, which is really unfortunate. But to be on this amazing tower right here and look out over, you can see Seven Seas Lagoon, you can see all of Tomorrowland, much of Magic Kingdom, you can see the Contemporary. It's awesome, but to not have this central piece working is so frustrating. I want to go ahead and hear from you. What are your thoughts about this specific story and more about the refurbishments going on at Magic Kingdom? Are they worth the wait?
Yeah, so we have a few theories on this because it's not, up to its standards at all since the refurbishment and, it's reopening. It used to, the pictures say it all. You used to be way higher. Now you're not as high. And I think after talking to cast members, we kind of came up to our own conclusion of maybe there's things that they don't want us to see that's going on. And then they'll probably later because they are aware that it doesn't reach the height and, the altitude that the ride is supposed to be. But, they haven't said, oh, we're going to fix it. We're working on it. They're aware of it. They're just kind of like brushing it off. They're being very nonchalant about it, which I understand because they're just cast members. You can't really put too much pressure on them. They're just making sure everyone's safe and secure and having a good day and et cetera. But I think that's the theory we came up with. There's probably something going on, because the altitude, like you said, you could see everything. You used to be able to see the lagoon. You used to be able to see the Contemporary. And I don't know what's going on. There's got to be a reason for this because this is not an amusement park. This is a highly, this is a theme park that is, sets the standard.
Right.
All other theme parks are watching and mimicking whatever Disney does. So this is really unacceptable. And you're paying, everyone, they raise the prices on the tickets and you're paying to have a good time. And you have these high expectations of, going on a ride and not, if you're a person, look, I understand this ride is ancient. Isn't this one of their opening day attractions?
I believe so. I mean, it had been at Tomorrowland at Disneyland since the 1950s, so right. It wouldn't surprise me.
It was basically Dumbo with rocket ships. Let's face it.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So I mean, it's not getting when you see a commercial or an advertisement, they don't show you the Astro Orbiter, right? They show you other rides, but it's a classic nostalgic ride, and it should be taken care of. It's also, even if you don't want to go on it or you're sick of it and you've done it 1,000 times, it's still there and you want to see it working to its full potential and operating as it should, getting the love it deserves. It is an icon. It's part of when you walk into Tomorrowland, you want to see it there. It's not Tomorrowland really if that attraction is not, there. So, I mean, I don't know. They didn't say they were going to address the issue at all. Like I said, it's being brushed off. So there's got to be something hiding that they don't want us to know about or see, all the way up there. I don't know what else to say. It's just a sad, poor excuse. You were closed for 5 months and you're not giving the guests the full experience that they are paying.
Which raises an interesting calculation question, Vash.
Please.
When we, as we often do, count, well, how many rides are there actually working at a given park? Do we give this a half? And will there be more that are of limited capacity or limited,
Well,
whatever, and give them halves instead of fulls too?
see, that's why I bring this up, because I'm worried about, like, we have like Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. I think that's what it's called over there. Maybe called something else. But anyway, the Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters equivalent at Tomorrowland down right now at Magic Kingdom, and it's going to be down for an extended period of time. Apparently, there will be a lot of technical updates and so forth, but I worry about attractions like that coming back online. It's like, okay, well, is this going to work when it comes back? If you can't get the Astro Orbiter to work, which is, like we just pointed out, it's been around since the 50s, at least at Disneyland. What does that mean for other attractions? Big Thunder Mountain Railroad comes to mind as well. It's been down for all of 2025. When it comes back in 2026, is it going to be up to bar right here? I just kind of worry about that. Now, Lou, what do you think about the theory that MJ has forwarded, that perhaps this has been purposefully disabled in order to prevent sightline issues?
I don't think so. I think they never would have brought it back at full power to begin with. It isn't like they brought it back and said, "Oh, wait, I can see your house from here. We better put it down." But look at this picture of it in the load-unload position. And compare this to that first picture of it as it currently stands, and you'll see there's no lift. None. It isn't a question of halfway.
Right. Yeah. That's a very good point. They say halfway, at least Block Mickey does, but to my eye, I didn't see any lift whatsoever right there. And look.
And let's remember,
please.
the design of that elevator was made to mimic Cape Canaveral, Cape Kennedy. Those launch pads where the astronauts bravely went up into outer space to get in their rocket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they would have got to the moon on this one. That's all.
I don't know. Not if Disney was behind it right there. That's for sure. I remember the Skyway when it used to exist, both actually at Tomorrowland and /Fantasyland, at the Magic Kingdom, and at Disneyland. And I remember Disneyland's version, people saying, like, look, they maintain the rooftops of a lot of the dark rides and buildings that you can see from that vantage point, the elevated vantage point, so that you can, like, so that it's all show ready.
As in cleaning them once in a while, as some people have noticed from some of those bioreconstruct shots around the dismantlement of Rip Rocket at the Universal, where they've seen all the roofs are very dirty around there. Right,
exactly. So are they hiding maybe maintenance features taking place on top of rooftops and so forth? If we want to go ahead and go forward with that idea, MJ, you have to assume if you're hiding something, you're hiding it for a reason. Maybe it is just construction, right? Some people have said Rivers of America. I don't know if you can really see Rivers of America from that vantage point right there. I just don't buy that. So what are you hiding is the next question right there. Nolan, what do you think about all this?
Well, you have to give them some credit. It's such an intricate ride. I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of these copied all over across America at any little carnival, right? Like, this is literally rocket science. But no, I am just still baffled that they were working on this thing for so long. In fact, the trip, last time I was over at Disneyland, this thing was down. You could see all the pieces missing, and it was like an intricate process. And it really is such a great spectacle for Tomorrowland. Like, I think it's one of the highlights, whether you're riding it or not. It just adds to the decor and it doubles up as a ride. But just having issues again. I'm not even going to pretend to say, like, yeah, this is so easy. Give me a hammer and I'll go in and fix it. Because no, it's not that simple. But the reality is, this should be one of the easiest things to fix at Disney. Is this thing just that old that they can't get it right after months of repair? If I was a manager here, I would just be like, hey, this is unacceptable. We can't be having this. Like, I don't get it.
One of the things I was thinking about, what this could be really about, when I was thinking about like potentials for this, was, okay, maybe you took it all apart, and maybe, pieces, either you had to fabricate them yourselves or they just weren't made anymore. Maybe you updated some pieces and parts of this specific attraction right here in order to make it more affordable to refurb and maintain in the future. Sometimes you do see that. Sometimes you do see parts and pieces replaced in order to forego custom fabrication and all kinds of things. Maybe, some of those pieces failed or something. That could be the case.
It's the old thing where your brother-in-law fixes his car and he's so proud because he got it done and there's parts left over.
Yes, exactly. It could have been. It could have been. I could theorize that might be the case right there, but I really don't know. This is embarrassing to have a ride like Nolan said that is so ubiquitous when it comes to other theme park proprietors, amusement providers, and so forth. To not have this in working order after it just went through I'm sure very expensive 5-month refurb is like I said, embarrassing. MJ, go ahead and finish this off right here. Extend your thoughts, please.
Yeah, no, it's definitely embarrassing, and we're gonna hold Disney to it. Let's see, maybe I like what Nolan said. If he was the manager, he'd be like, "Hey, what's going on? This is not okay." People are gonna notice it. People are gonna make comments. They already are. It was already on another news network. They were talking about it. This is because it's an iconic ride. It's been there since the day one. This is not okay. We're going to hold Disney to it and maybe wait a couple of months and see if they address the issue. It cannot stay this way. It's embarrassing. This is Disney. This is Walt Disney World. Not okay. It has to be addressed.
This is one of the most expensive theme parks now that you can actually go to, with a recent price increase pushing that bar up over $200 a day now on certain days. It is one of the most attended theme parks in the world. There is no excuse for this. Nolan, I see your little hand in there. What do you say?
All right. Well, I gotta say, I guess Disney is embracing that one song. Isn't it Moana or something? Like, it's okay not to be okay. I feel like that's the new mentality of the whole company.
Lou, I think we talked about it before. Good enough, right?
Yeah, well, how dare you say that they're okay to be not okay? This is okay by them. They're never not okay. At half, they're 10 times better than anybody else, and don't you dare disagree, or you're a doo-doo head. I mean, that's just the corporate attitude here, and it's shameful.
It is shameful.
It's truly
that
shameful.
Is the mentality. And
maybe what they'll do, here's what they'll do. They'll put a $25 Lightning Lane Fast Pass thingamabob on it, and you have to pay the ransom to ride it at all.
Uh-oh. Not good. I don't like this. Don't like this at all. But
anyway.
Astro Orbiter. 5-month refurb.
$209 for a one-day ticket during the peak. And that's to go to Magic Kingdom for one day. For one ticket. One person. $209. And that's what you're going to have. No
excuse. Oh, man. I just hate that kind of stuff right there.
And they'll turn to you and say, well, would you rather have a wall? Now that you brought that up, let's talk about that. Oh, no, I didn't mean to talk about it. But
that's a good point right there.
You talk about being able to view something from up there. Maybe it's just that from up there you can see the all-encompassing nature of all the damn walls. Oh. That could be as simple as that.
It's a fair point right there. Nolan, the super chats, please.
Oh, I would love to, kind sir. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and start out here with our man, homie himself, Maddie, for $1.99. Hail to the $1.99 for more lewd content with LEW YouTube. LEW.
Well, Maddie, thank you so much. And I'm not sure you're aware of it, but I'm giving even more content to those chosen few who decide to take part in my Patreon, which is at patreon.com/loseviews. And it's only $5 a month. And I've got 8-10 episodes up already. And it's only been 2 weeks. So come on along. Come on along.
I'll put this in the chat right here because it's definitely, you got to go ahead and purchase into this right here, because to get Lou's extended thoughts right here, to get such a professional opinion about so many things. Oh, it is.
I'm covering a lot more than theme parks and movies and whatever, although that's involved too.
Yes.
So far, the episode I think that's making people chuckle a little more than they should is the one called Shutdowns and Sombreros. So you can draw your own conclusions what that's about.
Indeed.
If I could also chime in here a second, I have been hearing nothing but great things about Lou's Patreon from a variety of people. So people, I really recommend checking it out because I've been hearing all the accolades. So Lou, keep up the good work, my friend. Check him out.
Oh, thank you. It's always good to hear.
Awesome. Wolfgang Prime for $2 sent a super sticker, and I went back to check it out. It looks like it was a bean, and he was saying, "Hey, you." Well, I say, hey, what's going on? And thank you very much, Wolfgang, for the super sticker. All right. Coming up next is Eric Stratton for $7.77. Ooh, thank you for the lucky number there. I was at Epic, online at How to Train Your Dragon Coaster. Congratulated guy behind me because I saw a pin saying anniversary. He says celebrating here, got married on Walt Disney World. Ha! That's cool. Hey, that's something
So
I
their
guess
marriage has
Universal
made some
could
progress
probably...
since those early days, obviously.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because, you know, Epic's been we've been talking about them theoretically coming for Disney's lunch, so to speak, for a lot of different types of entertainment now that Epic Universe comes around. But Disney still has that reputation, you know, as a hot spot for a honeymoon or a wedding, whatever have you. It'd be kind of interesting to see what kind of stuff we could see, perhaps if Universal ever wants to get into that kind of, you know, tradition or memories. I don't think you'll see Mario getting ordained or anything like that. But, you know, we might have a fun wedding experience at Epic Universe. I don't know. What do you guys think?
There's so many proposals at Walt Disney World every day and celebrations of anniversaries, people getting married in front of the castle. That's why these stories are so important to us, because the park has to have they have such a big reputation, and they have to hold up to that. They have to continue to make things right and keep things the way they are supposed to be operating, you know? That's why we're talking about all these things.
So are they saying at the castle, do you promise to love, honor, and obey me when I say, take me to the place without the walls that works?
Very well said, guys. And Eric, thank you again for the $7.77. You're amazing. Speaking of amazing, we have Theme Park Wizard up in this thing for $1.99. Thank you very much, Wizard. Good to hear from you. Keep up the great work. Congrats on the merger. Well, thank you, sir. It's going to be a huge opportunity for a lot of things. I got to feature my first Geeks and Gamers story over on TGP last Saturday, so that was fun. They got some really talented people here and some familiar faces, so definitely check out the Geeks and Gamers site. Like, it's nothing but blue skies ahead, I can assure you that.
Awesome
all
stuff.
Right, Vash, that is all the supers.
Thank you so much, Nolan. Very much appreciate that. Nolan being the producer extraordinaire right here. Thank you so much. Very much.
Vash, I don't want to screw up your order and your control, but as long as Theme Park Wizard is here, you want to ask him about that story I put over there on the side that I noticed today, the one that I sent you about a certain mishap in Los Angeles?
Oh, you referring to Hollywood Drift?
Yes, it got stuck.
It did get stuck. We covered this on that park place earlier.
Okay,
and
I wasn't there for that. So.
We'll go ahead. We'll update.
I saw a guy do a video, and he was there all day, and they hadn't gotten it down. So
yes, yeah. So if people aren't familiar with what's actually going on, this was the test footage for Hollywood Drift, a new big Intamin coaster right here, and it literally, he captured it right there. It got stuck, and I was initially thinking, oh, that's part of the test, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, there are no brake zones right there, and there are no LSMs in order to slow it down to that point right there. I think it legitimately got stuck, and it has been that way for I believe days right here.
You think that's bad? Imagine actually being the guy that had to climb up that and push it.
Exactly.
Actually, they had 2 or 3 cranes and lots of poking and prodding, and they finally, I guess, got it loose. But
right, so you can see this from Theme Park session right here.
It only had water dummies in it, thank God, and not people, because it would have been a long day up there.
Holy cow.
Right, and we did talk about that too. It's like, okay, you have to ensure that this can't happen again. So this is kind of a big deal. It was in this fashion for a while. You can see the cherry pickers right there. You kind of lets you know it's like, this is not part of the test really. And so they were debating on how to get that off. Apparently, Theme Park Wizard has come in though and has suggested that they are testing again. That is good. But it was stuck there for a while. This was from the Cali Bay right there from the highway. That's no good to see that right there, and a lot of people got a lot of videos of it stuck in this position. Well, I mean,
Funny thing, they didn't have guests on it having refurbished it and told everybody it worked, like another certain story we just covered, did they?
Did you guys, do you guys remember when the Rip Ride rocket got stuck? Like there was people, and it was at a 90-degree angle, and they were there for hours, something like that. They had to get like the ambulance and all that to get
These
them
are
down.
the times when you definitely want to be in the front row, not the back row, because everything goes downhill, you know, and you're up there for hours.
That was scary to see it. I wasn't there when it happened, but I saw it. I was like, whoa, no way. Not
good. Not good. You don't want that. You don't want that to happen right there. Okay, I think we are getting back on track right here. Well, I use that expression right there. Apparently, Universal's Hollywood Drift is getting back on track, and yeah, no pun intended, indeed. Here we go, folks. Out of Disneyland Resort, I gotta put this one up. No article for this one, just a screenshot, and you can see right there from Ryan Theme Park, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, 80-minute standby line, according to this. But look at that purchase price for Lightning Lane. This is a single pass experience, by the way. This is not a multi-pass. This only gets you access to Rise of the Resistance one time per person for $40. I kind of want to know from you guys, is this specific attraction worth it right here? Is $40 is a lot. Nolan, I see you raising your hand. Please, sir. What do you think about a $40 Lightning Lane single pass for Rise of the Resistance?
All right, I am probably going to be the odd man out on this panel, okay? Yeah, it is. My time's precious. I don't get a lot of it. I would rather, if the ride now, if it's only like an hour, I might suck it up and wait. But if it gets to like some of these rides, you know, in the Florida, especially during the hot seasons where it's like, okay, 2 to 3 hour wait, I would rather, you know, waive going to lunch or something like that and just pay and go up, because I don't want to wait. Because keep in mind, this is also a Disney park, so there's gonna be times you might be out in the heat or something like that. They don't usually do very well of enclosing the spaces. I would rather pay the extra money and do it. Now, this is Disney, where they price gouge you to heck and back. And this ride, I think part of the half of the fun of it is honestly the queue on it. This would have been pretty nice at the beginning. Went back. I remember originally when this came out, I had to go through the virtual queue system, which for those who don't know, you had to, you know, pull out your phone, hope there was a chance in the force that you got a chance to do it. And it was like a mess. So now I like that we've come far enough now to where it's like, hey, you fork over some money, you can skip it if you so choose. It's not something like it's forced onto you. Now, do I wish it was cheaper? Absolutely. But honestly, theoretically, if we're even talking about the philosophy of like a modern day fast pass system, not necessarily the traditional routes, but a Lightning Lane plus, Fast Pass plus onwards, it seems like usually if you know it's a high enough price, you're going to get only so many people going for it, and it goes to the philosophy of, hey, you're going to have a shorter wait. I personally have been on it several times, so I don't feel the need to do it right now, but I do like the option being there.
That's great for a single person, but if you have a family of 4 or 5, are you really, honestly, from the heart, going to pay $40 a person to do that one ride? That is a lot of money for a family. Or like if you have, you know, a gathering of friends, you guys want to go as a group, that's a lot of money. That's too much money. That's
family of 4, you're talking about $160 right there. I mean, that's quite a bit. Now, this is really interesting, Nolan, because I kind of appreciate your opinion right there. It's like, look, listen, if I'm only there for the one day, I've traveled all the way out to, let's say, Walt Disney World or Disneyland, yeah, maybe it makes sense to purchase for $40. But man, MJ, you make a really compelling point. $40 per person. You have a family or multiple members, maybe even more.
I will say, I was having a solo day where I was escaping from everyone and I was by myself having a merry old time. I would pay the $40, but not a family vacation. Go ahead, Lou. Sorry.
All I was going to say, I just looked it up. The average hourly pay for an American in the United States as of October 14th $28.16 an hour. And remember, that's before taxes being deducted. So is that hour you save worth the hour you spent at your terrible job that you hate? I don't know.
That's a very interesting point.
I don't
Nolan,
know.
please go ahead.
I mean,
I
all
think that-
money is, as they say, fungible, you know?
Sure.
I love you guys' points on this because I think that just adds to why the philosophy of the system, honestly, while I don't think any of us want to pay more money than we have to at Disney, and we've been seeing, stuff charged up the wazoo, I think it shows why the system kind of works in a way, because it shows, like, especially to MJ's point there, of how, sometimes you're going to opt for it, sometimes you're not. Especially, it's not economic when you have a family of 5, which shows that, hey, that means the people going for the fast lane get a better experience, and they're also not going to be heading to the normal line. Overall, at the end of the day, I think Disney gets a win on this, whether we like it or not.
They only get a win if a lot of people buy it. And my question is, are we heading for a day in the future when we're back to the ticket books?
I think we're there, Lou. I think we're there. Back to the ticket booths. The direct monetization of attractions, I think, is what is spurring on a lot of decision making at the Walt Disney Company right now. For example, Rivers of America. Rivers of America wasn't directly monetizable back in the day, right? So now you bring in Lightning Lane, that paradigm shifts. Now it's like, okay, well now we have to have a Lightning Lane based attraction in that spot. This is what I think Jeff Vale, the president of Walt Disney World, was saying when he said underutilized for them because they can't directly monetize the Rivers of America. Similarly with entertainment, you can't monetize that, at least not yet. So it doesn't make sense to pour additional capital into stuff like that when you could be pouring capital into attractions that you can monetize. Very, very interesting. I also want to go ahead and point out here, this was Disneyland, not Walt Disney World. Disneyland is built up of mainly annual pass holders. I believe it's probably around 75% of any one day's makeup of guests at Disneyland that day is going to be pass holders. These are repeat visitors. Would they be inclined to spend $40 for a ride? I'm not quite sure. Walt Disney World is a different story because people are coming in from all over the country, all over the world to see those attractions, but not Disneyland. Does that shift the paradigm? Nolan, MJ, Lou, what do you think?
I think the international people are going to pay it. I don't think that your locals or your annual pass holders or your, Disney adults, I don't think they're going to pay that, but they're going to get it from the internationals. That's my opinion.
I don't.
Okay.
I just think it's insanely expensive. And I think that people get offended by that. I got to tell you something. Just personal anecdotage, okay? I get up and I'm kind of hungry and I'm thinking, I could just go for like a sub sandwich and a bag of chips. And I go on DoorDash and I go pick one of the places that I think makes pretty good sandwiches. And I start adding it up and I'm about to hit the buy button and I look and it's like $22 for a foot-long sub and a bag of potato chips. Can I afford it? Thank God, yes. Am I morally offended enough that I say stop? Usually. By the way, back in the day at Disneyland, here's prices from 1964, okay? Adult, Big 10, which was a ticket to admission and 10 rides, $395. Junior, which is 12 to 17, $345. Child, 3 through 11, $295. The Big 15, $495, $445, and $395.
Yeah.
The general admission, $1.60, $1.20, and 60 cents. And that's what pays for the Rivers of America, ladies and gentlemen, the general admission.
And here's the other thing, too, regarding all of that. If you look and see like the price of Six Flags back in the day that Six Flags existed, compared to Disneyland at the time, you'll notice like Six Flags was a little bit higher in price than Disney.
Yeah.
Why? Because Disney would charge for attractions after the fact versus Six Flags, it was all included. So it kind of makes sense.
But POP, which was Pacific Ocean Park, rebranded themselves as Pay One Price to compete with that.
Right. Exactly. And so, it makes sense back in the day to charge a little bit less up front because you're going to be charging on the back end right
They're
there.
not going to spend money on food and on merch and on all the other things that people do.
And now Disney's charging every which way they possibly can, and exorbitant prices every which way. It's just the value, I think, is diminished right there. Nolan, I saw your hand up earlier. Please, your thoughts.
You already made my point, honestly. Yeah, that's the big difference between like a Six Flag park and this is like, it's the same ordeal with Cedar Fair. You pay a flat rate to get their fast pass system. It's called different things. Like I believe at at Six Flags, it's themed to the Flash, like the comic book character. Cedar Fair, it's called, I don't know, I always call it Fast Pass. Maybe there's Disney in my blood when I don't even realize it. But, you know, you get everything.
It's a flasher pass? I think you misunderstood. When you pay for that, you get to open your clothes to people.
That is an option, although you're going to get a free ride to the front of the park if you do that.
Well, there you go. So, you know, there's benefits. Anyway.
yeah, you definitely get a ride out of it. But you get, like Vash was saying, you get everything included. You pay the flat rate, you know, as long as you get the, like, elite level or whatever it is, you pay it, you're good. You just always go the fast pass lane. I don't think we'll ever see Disney ever embracing it, because I think they're going to want to keep doing this kind of practice where it's like, hey, our top ticket attractions, we want people to kind of get into it after the fact. Kind of the nickel and diamond of, like, a used car salesman. It's like, you don't just pay the one flat rate. It's, okay, you get this, but you can also get this. And I don't know, that's always, not to go too personal opinion with it here, that's always something that's kind of frustrated me. It's like, I don't think this practice will ever go away, because they've kind of trained now their audience to be like, expect to pay little extra amounts of money during your park experience as opposed to prior. And it's gotten them a lot of success. And I would love to see them go back to more of the philosophies of the 60s, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
I agree with Nolan with the e-ticket. I was gonna bring up something, because it's like you're almost like it's like a bittersweet, you know, like you're coming in from the other side of the world, what have you, and this is like their main attraction. It's an e-ticket ride. There's no other ride like this in the world. My understanding. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm coming from like Russia or China or whatever, and I'm not going to be able to do this attraction for another, decade or two, or this might be my last trip to America, I'm going to pay the $5, and I'm going to, you know, so it's like, you feel you're going to be pissed off about it, but you're going to pay it.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the position that they're putting you in, and that's why Lou, you know, and Nolan and everybody else has been kind of saying, "Hey, look, listen, like they kind of got you. They got you in the mouse trap." Is what they have you in right there. And
if you're coming from Russia or China and you pay this, you're applying for asylum and not going home.
People watched, like, just sat at one of the theme parks and people watched. Because I have, and they look miserable.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, when it costs so much to be in there, is it really
especially with reduced hours? With reduced hours, you know, it's like my dear late dad used to sit there and watch the people on the Vegas Strip doing that death march up and down to every casino and going, that doesn't look like fun to me. That looks like work. Yeah. It's like they should be whistling the theme from the bridge on the River Kwai.
Right.
It's very, very true. It's very, very true. You're
not relaxing.
I don't like this. I don't like what they're doing right here. Not enjoying this one bit right here. But this is the new reality that Disney has constructed for itself, in that you have attractions that are monetizable, and they're going to push them to the limits that they possibly can. And unfortunately, whatever they charge, many times, because of their systems that they have in place, it's the mousetrap you'll have to pay into.
I wish it was to the limits. Instead, I suspect it's to infinity and beyond.
So very true. I want to go ahead and incorporate somebody in here real fast, because they joined during the segment.
Madam Scrim has arrived.
Woo! It's Erica from America and Rap. Hello there.
Hi, can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, can hear you just fine. Thank you so much for
feedback or echoes or anything on your end.
Oh, you sound delightful.
All right,
very high quality.
Very good.
He redid all my stuff. I don't know what he did, but he claimed he improved everything.
Okay, good.
It sounds fantastic. The Halloween vibe is a total vibe. Everything's perfect.
Sweet.
Fantastic.
You got your pumpkin spice and everything nice.
Yeah. So
All right,
41
there.
bucks a pop for this attraction, huh? For Rise of the Resistance.
Yes, $40 for Rise of Resistance. Erica, would you pay it?
Um, I've been on it quite a bit, and we're not what you call tourists when it comes to Disney. So it's one of those attractions we can take it or leave it on a trip. I'm thinking, as you guys were pointing out, the international tourists, the ones that are, the once in a lifetimers will probably pay it. And because it's already, the information's already out there, they can budget that in ahead of time to make it fit into their family budget. But I will say for me and Raph, I'd rather go out to eat for 80 some odd bucks for me and him
I
than
think you
ride
can
an
get a
attraction.
churro and a
I
glass
mean,
of milk for that. But it occurs to me, Vash, can you buy this at the door to the attraction, or do you have to buy it in advance?
Oh, you can buy it at the door, yeah.
Because if it was one of those days like we've seen lately and it was a walk-on, you'd feel damn foolish if you'd spent the money before you went.
Right. And that's the thing too, is I will say, can you buy it outside of the attraction? Yes. But what they'll do is they'll be like, well, you better buy it now before it sells out. You see, and that's the FOMO kind of thing that they do right
I
there. So
just assumed it would be in the app, and you could just do it in the app like you could.
But if you
before.
got
That's what
there
that
and
screenshot
found out
was
there was
from.
no crowd,
Yes,
as there has been lately, is my point, Erica, wouldn't you really feel a jerk if you bought it in the app ahead of time? Only to
Oh.
find out the crowd wasn't worth doing it for.
right, and
I see what you're saying.
we've actually covered that before with this specific attraction right here, in which they will artificially maintain a queue wait time, which is just a posted wait time, at above I think it's like 40 minutes or so, and that's to elicit more lightning lane sales. Like it will never drop below that number. So
Do
I've
they
had
do
people
that
come
just
to me.
by holding them up, or do they put fewer cars on the track, or how do they do
No,
it?
they just it's literally just type in 40 minutes. That's what it is.
Okay.
And that may sound crazy, but we actually determined that utilizing some data from somebody who actually that's what they do. They take in all the data from the app, all the reported wait times, and you could see there was a notch right there. It was a hard notch that wasn't that couldn't ever at all be explained other than they were maintaining that wait time for a specific reason, and it's to induce lightning lane sales. So they play around with this a lot.
What you said about that technique of, hey, you better buy it now or it's going to sell out.
Yeah.
Isn't that the very kind of cheap carny and hoochie coochie show attitude that Walt was against in so-called amusement parks at the time?
Absolutely. He was against
They
all this stuff,
monetize on
Lou.
FOMO.
Maybe they should put like a pea under 3 walnut shells, and wherever it lands, that's how much you pay.
They also entice you with the whole stay on property and you get first dibs before anyone else. So like if you're staying on property at their resorts, then you get first dibs on the lightning lanes, and you get to have
You get the privilege of buying them, you mean?
Yeah, buying them and picking a time that you really want.
As opposed to at Universal, where if you're staying at the upper end hotels, it's free.
Not necessarily all the time. I think just for Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, there's only the Royal Pacific, the Hard Rock.
Yeah, just the high end hotels.
The high end.
If you have a
locations, yes.
family and you worked out how many days you were going to be there, it might be much cheaper to spend the money on the hotel room and get all that included than it is to not stay there. You see what I mean?
Without
And
a
it's
doubt.
an incentive.
Yes.
Incentive to get you to stay there
Yes.
for sure. So it's
Yes.
big deal right here. We're going to be talking about cash actually in just a second right here. But Nolan, the super chats, please.
My incentive is to bring up the supers herd. Anyways, all right, going shogi for $2. For $40, are the cannons even working in Disney World yet?
Oh,
I
God.
heard no the last time looking into it. Because that would have made news, and we probably would have covered it. So
They started working, and they stopped working, and now they're not working at all. So yeah.
right, they disabled those very early on in the attraction's life. They do work at Disneyland, though. I can confirm.
Go and shogi. This reminds me way back in the 60s when Mike Nichols and Elaine May were a comedy act. He did a thing interviewing her as the head of the Beverly Hills Beautification Society. And he said, so what, you put the palm trees on Palm Drive? She said, no. We put the palm trees on Cannon Drive. We put the cannons on Palm Drive. So
That's very interesting.
Well, go and
right
Shogi,
there.
if we can finish. We thank you again for the $2, but they'll probably fix them around the time they fix the Dragon and Phantasmic. Give it a little time. I'm sure it's coming. Go and Shogi again for $5. This is how we're paying for Tron Ares. You may not have seen it, but you will pay for it.
I'm telling you, this is what they do. I've told everybody this for years. When you suffer a big loss at the theater division, or I think it's theatrical, it's like entertainment, it's like sales, content, licensing, and other, if you look at the earnings. Anyway, the movie division, right? If you lose big there, well, that money's got to come from somewhere, and it's usually the parks. That's
if
what
you
happens.
lose it there, we'll get it anywhere. It's up to you. Merchandise and passes.
Oh, it's so very true.
Just
right
remember,
there.
next time you go to Disney World, folks, and you fork over that $40 for Rise of Resistance, just think about the Acolyte when you're doing it. Think about how much money you're helping them with. It's great. It's so
Indeed.
By the way, did you hear about the new Disney Plus show about an intergalactic spaceship parts chain, and it's called The Power of Manny, Mo, and Jack. But anyway,
Interesting.
little obscure Pep Boys humor there, but you know me, I'm obscure to the beat.
Yeah. It's okay.
So far we have go and Shogi just said it, the little rockets on the ride of this Star Wars attraction, the cannon. Sorry. So we have the cannon, now Asteroid Orbiter, and then we have Yeti, who hasn't functioned in I don't even know how many years. And
Fantastic.
then we have what else are we
The
missing,
dragon.
guys?
Well, all that stuff that
The
breaks all
Fantastic
the time
Dragon's
on
missing.
Tiana, of course.
You
which
beat
has
me
even-
to it, Lou.
Which has even less excuse because it's theoretically new.
Yeah, that's brand new, and it's not even like. So we got all. I mean, really, it just.
Well,
the list
Does
goes on.
Rise of the Resistance still break down as frequently? Or did they finally mitigate that?
at Disneyland,
Gotta sell a few more
no.
passes to pay to fix it.
I don't know at Walt Disney World because it was power issues, and I think they're still present. So
Maybe
yeah,
that's
it's-
why they're charging the $40 so that they can.
well,
I
that's
could
Disneyland's
charge 40
version of
bucks for
Walt
every
Disney
time
World.
I've got a personal power issue. I'd be a rich man. That's all I got to say.
Oh boy. Well, there you go, right there. Erica, I am so glad you were here for this next segment right here because boy, oh boy, I want to get into it with you and actually MJ because I kind of want to know from the family people on the panel what they think about this next topic right here. We actually covered this in a previous That Park Place or T3PO Live segment when we were covering price increases. Very interesting because when we were covering ticket price increases, annual pass increases, and all these different things, they snuck in something that went a little bit under the radar right here, and now it has expanded. Here we go from Walt Disney World News today. Breaking: Walt Disney World snack carts are going cashless. And this was October 8th, 2025, as the date there points out by Shannon Ace. Well, now, by Blog Mickey here, October 14th, Walt Disney World expands cashless locations, advises guests to purchase gift cards.
Yes.
What is going on right here? Walt Disney World has recently expanded the number of locations that are cashless around the theme parks. The locations are typically outdoor vending locations where guests would purchase soda or ice cream novelties and the like. And here's a look at the new signage and what you should do if you only have cash. You can see right there, cashless location. Please pay with credit card, Disney gift card, or mobile payment. Disney gift cards are available for purchase at your nearest Walt Disney World merchandise store. In effect, what they're saying right here is that if you don't have a credit card, let's say, and you only have cash, well, why don't you go into a shop or store nearby, get a
And
gift
walk
card,
past
and then
lots
come
of stuff
back.
that'll tempt you on the way and on the way out.
Indeed, right here. This right here is, man, I don't like this at all. Not one bit. I kind of want to know from you guys, what do you think about the parks going cashless here? Nolan, want to go ahead and hear from you. What do you got going on? Walt Disney World cashless.
Let me tell you what it's like being an adult in 2025 when you have a wallet or a purse, okay? You're going to be making your way to maybe a nice little Halloween attraction in your local state, and oh, it's all cashless. Okay, might as well use card. And then the very next day, you can go to the local fair and everything is just cash. They don't take card. So you feel stupid anywhere you go because you never know what to expect. You go up to the dang self-checkout at Walmart, and sometimes they're like, cashless, or, oh no, it's okay here. I'm afraid I'm going to start coming up and places are going to be check only at this point. No, people are not cool in this day and age of, you need to have some variety because people are going to be carrying both kind of things on them. We haven't had a full transition yet. And it's clear that there's still some society rejection here because it's not economically feasible to go cashless for all types of jobs and such. I get Disney wants to make the route for probably XYZ reasons, but Disney, you already got enough problems as it is. Like, let's hold back a little bit and see how the rest of America responds. Save the jumping ahead of where the trends are going to be a little more in Epcot, please. A little less in the cash stands at Magic Kingdom, please.
Erica, I mean, the excuse will be, well, if you're going to Walt Disney World and paying an exorbitant amount to stay on property and to go into the theme parks in the first place, maybe you don't have cash to pay for those transactions. Maybe everybody has credit card or some type of digital form of payment right there. Your thoughts on the parks going cashless and encouraging gift cards, please.
I think they're copying SeaWorld. The SeaWorld parks have gone completely cashless, so they're testing the waters out to see how well this is going to go. But the thing is that Disney still pulls in the most international tourism. And here in Europe,
That's a fair point.
A lot of Europeans are accustomed to paying with cash. They're not really fully accustomed to everything being cashless. So
Interesting.
there is an awareness of things being more plastic in the States, the cards from debit to credit. So out here, Europeans are aware that America kind of has that reputation already, but that still doesn't, erase the fact that Europeans, we're creatures of habit. So I'd imagine, at least on the European side, they would probably go between both. They'll pull cash out from an ATM, while also relying on gift cards and debit credit transactions and kind of go between the three. But I don't know. Then again, the Europeans, they might prefer the cashless and they might consider it more convenient. I mean, it just depends on the mindset of that person and the group of people.
Once we've covered all the convenience factors and the inconvenience factors, I'm sorry to tell you all, there is a much darker purpose.
Oh yeah.
This.
I just didn't want to go down that hole here. But
anybody ever heard of a Chinese
very
coffee
dark side
company?
To it.
A Chinese coffee company called Luckin, Luckin, or Luckin. They just opened their first 2 stores in New York City. Mm-hmm. They're all over China, and they are completely cashless. And why? Because the investigation discovered that they were basically making TikTok look like a data miner. That if you used your card for a coffee, they were sucking out everything about you. Everything about your history, about your location, about your family, as much as they could get. Now, they were doing it, of course, for Chi-Com nastiness. Disney would only be doing it for utterly benevolent marketing purposes. Well, but still, this is a way to get you to reveal more about yourself than you might even realize you're revealing by simply buying a churro.
Yeah.
Well, it's very interesting because the Magic Band program, part of it was conceived because they understood that there were inhibitions that people would actually have when it came to like digging out their wallet from their purse or paying with cash and like seeing that money flow. You could take that out of the equation with a Magic Band that you would have a credit card information on. Also, too, the data mining. Look, Disney does that quite extensively. I mean, it is definitely part of their portfolio. Now, they don't talk about it, but they certainly do it. MJ, I'm old-fashioned. Cashless? What do you think about all this?
I am old-fashioned as well with a lot of things. Actually, me and Lou pre-show, we were talking about how I'm an old lady in a young body, but I have so much to say about this, but we're not going to go down too far down the rabbit hole. But two things. If you're a local, this is great. Why? Because most warehouses, when I say warehouses, shops, like it's not even a shop, it's a warehouse, Costco and BJ's. If you are a smart person and you know better, you're going to go get those gift cards at a discounted price and you're going to save money, and then you're going to use those in the parks. That's like a little
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But if you don't know any better and you're using a travel agent, now it's the job of the TA to tell their customers, hey, look, don't bring cash with you to the parks. Make sure you load up on Disney gift cards when you arrive. This is where you need to go to buy them. Or if they're like in a splurge, then just say, be ready to purchase, a gift card at one of their shops, or have a debit card or a credit card, or buy magic bands. And we personally like it. It's easy. If the kids want something like a pretzel or a churro or ice cream, they can just tap their magic band and it's done. And I always factor in and budget that, so I know I have a card tied to those magic bands. But yeah, I actually love this because at BJ's, and this is a hack, you can get some really good deals on Disney gift cards, and you can use them at the hotels, at the parks.
It's very true.
And you will save a lot of money. As a matter of fact, that's how I buy my merchandise most of the time. So
that's assuming that you only buy enough to use on your trip, and you keep track of how much is left, and you don't have 43 cards in the bottom of a drawer somewhere, each with $1.25 left on them, that they're making money on your money all this time. Which is the way, unfortunately, most of us live,
Well, there was a gift card scandal recently, right? This is quite a few years ago, but there was some accountant working at Disney who noticed that the company would attribute revenue in both circumstances, when that gift card was purchased and when it was used. And it was like, whoa, that's a huge scandal right there.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened to her, but she did
the
whistle on that.
Very, 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 very first case of banking computer fraud was some guy working at the United California Bank. I think it was in San Diego, might have been LA. And every day when he walked in, the password of the day was on a chalkboard. Oh. And he would go in and he would take from every account in their system a penny and move it into another account. And every day a penny and a penny and a penny, and nobody noticed. And you know what? It added up to millions of dollars that he got away with before they caught him doing it. So never underestimate the power of eensy weensy teensy little pieces of money compounding into something serious.
Indeed. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Look, I think Office Space actually did something like that. Anyway, to understand the company wants to induce more sales from people. And look, if you have cashless receptacles right there, people, they make more impulse purchases. Maybe they don't quite know how much they're actually spending at the time and so forth. And for a cast member, right? Look, you got to trust them with cash, or you can have a digital system, especially for a kiosk and so forth. That might make more sense right there. But I don't know. I see theme parks like Knott's Berry Farm, for instance, going completely cashless. And I just look at that and I go, I'm not sure if I want that. But it is a changing time, and you have to be ready for it. Go ahead, Lou. Finish.
All I was going to say was, even as I said in passing earlier, the act of, I'll just go into this store and get one. You have to walk by a whole bunch of tempting stuff. Oh, I didn't know they sold those. How much is that? They have a calculation somewhere that tells them what percentage of additional sales they get out of just making people make that trip.
It's a great point. And look, when you see something like, let's say one of those, what is it, cheeseburger, I guess, rolls or something that they have over there at one of the kiosks over there in Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, you look at it and go, okay, well, it's $7.95. Do I get a $10 gift card? And then what happens with that cash after the fact? See how it's all working out right there? It's all to get.
By the way, those are almost $9 now. That's the little kiosk on your way into Adventureland. The spring cream cheeseburger rolls. You're absolutely
Right.
right. Now they're like almost $9, Vash.
I'm telling you, well, you see, my prices are out of date right there. They just keep exploding, and I can't keep track of them. But it's all a way to get more money out of you when you go to Walt Disney World. Oh boy, I don't like it. But this is what they do right there. It's just, it's ridiculous. We've got one more story before handing it off to a Culture Casino for his, I believe it's called, Thank You for Your Attention on This Matter. If I'm not mistaken right there. That's going to be a lot of fun. But to switch up things, we're not talking about Universal. We're not talking about Disney. We're talking about Cedar Fair now. Six Flags.
I like that name.
Cedar Flare. That's what we're doing right there.
Isn't that what they shoot off instead of a big fireworks show now to save money at 4th of July?
Yes,
it's a Cedar Flare.
It's a Cedar Flare. Pull out your flare right there. Now, longtime viewers of That Park Place and T3PO will know that we were talking about a story in which Matt Ouimet, the previous CEO of Cedar Fair, was calling out Six Flags on some of their practices. Remember, they removed, I think, 10% of their workforce. They started cutting down the number of executives that they had. There's been a lot of changes now with Six Flags having merged with Cedar Fair and the consequences that has for both guests and people working there. Well, he's back at it again. Here you go. More words from Matt Ouimet from Attractions Magazine. Former Cedar Fair CEO calls for change within troubled at Six Flags. This by Blake Taylor, October 15th, 2025. Matt Ouimet, former CEO of Cedar Fair, prior to the theme park company's merger with Six Flags and formerly president of Disneyland back in the day. Those were the days. Publicly shared guidance for the corporation he used to lead. Six Flags is currently in the process of selecting its next CEO following the recent resignation of Richard Zimmerman. As that process remains ongoing, quote, the company is troubled and has big decisions to make, Ouimet wrote in a LinkedIn post on October 15th, 2025. Ouimet hopes that Six Flags' board of directors overseeing the CEO selection is, quote, acknowledging reality and giving the new CEO an opportunity to retire some board members and replace them with people who have proven track records with analogous businesses and demonstrating leadership qualities that will make them strong thought partners.
God.
Very, very
A
interesting.
language, strong thought partners.
Well, it's Matt Ouimet right there, and he's
well, is he looking for another job somewhere, or he's just trying to piss off everybody who ever hired him?
This is a very
Nobody likes
interesting
I told
thing.
you so, Matt. Honest, you're done. Go away.
I'm not sure what's gone into what's happened to Matt Ouimet right there. I'm not sure, but he is very vocal and is very opinionated about how the company is run. And look, Nolan, please back me up right here. We've looked at the merger right here. We've seen a lot of things that we don't like. For example, King Caw being permanently closed right there. That's no good. Hate that. We also heard of more big-time attractions being closed at Six Flags Magic Mountain over there in Valencia, California. I want to know from you, Nolan, is Matt Ouimet, does he have a point right here? Should he be expressing his opinion in this way? Your thoughts, please.
Well, I'm an interesting one to ask that kind of question too, because honestly, I would rather have someone in a position of power giving me the truth than selling me on a lie. Some people applaud. It's like, hey, there's certain things you can say to the public and there's certain things you can't. I would rather have them be blunt, even if it makes them look like a jerk, because would rather have them fixing the problem. Now, if they're not fixing the problem, they bring up the problem. They look even more incompetent than possible. Now, this guy right here, to his take, I can only speak from a guest side of things, and because I've been very, very happy with the Cedar Fair company for a very long time, and I just felt like they had just such a level of quality. Like some people, who aren't as familiar with the parks outside of, Florida or California, I tell you, some people I know have been sampling into Dollywood a bit more in recent years. Fitting time right here. And Cedar Fair, I feel, has the same level of quality with that. Ever since this merger, I feel like we just got all of Six Flags problems. And I thought this was supposed to be something that was going to make Cedar Fair theoretically better, make Six Flags better. Well, instead it seems like what's happened is they've merged. Some people are going to get their golden parachute, and it's going to mean more closures and more problems for one of my favorite parks in the world, and the one that's probably closer to my heart than Disney. And that just really disappoints me. And if there's one thing I can say from the leadership level, I'm not even going to pretend to say I know how to fix all the problems of these companies, because there's a lot of problems now, as you could probably tell. But what I can say is they have failed in far as their guest relations when it comes to this merge, because when you do things such as just close King Ka in the middle of nowhere without even a former announcement, that is just, could you imagine if Disney was like one day like, hey, we're closing Expedition Everest or
just forever
Space Mountain, yeah, and not even give a heads up about it? It'd be pitiful. Even Splash Mountain, we had a chance to ride it.
Yeah, I don't like that move at all. Now, I've been critical of how Disney has handled like Rivers of America's closing, for instance, and doing it on a day that a lot of annual pass holders couldn't actually attend that last day. Don't like that, but at least I told you. Erica, Six Flags, I don't know what is going on, but I kind of agree with Matt. We met. Like, this merger and what it has resulted in hasn't been great for guests and really hasn't been great for executives. Your thoughts, please, on all of this. Do you know what's going on in Six Flags? What are your thoughts on it, please?
I've only been to Six Flags once, and it was in Georgia. And it's not a park. I mean, I haven't been to the other ones, so I don't know if this is a consistent thing. But I don't know. I just found the park, it just wasn't that appealing. And it was kind of areas that were dirty. Attractions just needed to be cleaned up.
The Six Flags experience.
I mean,
Yeah, basically.
Is
Bring
that
'em up.
consistent with all the other is that what everyone's saying? Okay, because
Yeah.
I'm not what you
They're
call
known for that.
I'm not an amusement park person. I would rather put my money into a theme park. Like, that's just me. But I will go to one just to check it out at least once. But I have yet to find an amusement park that I would say I'd go more than once.
That's a fair point.
But yeah, I wasn't that impressed, and I assume it's pretty much the same thing across the board. And they just need to get some people in there, I guess, to, for one, clean your parks, maybe add some paint,
Beautification, I think is what Celine
that,
Vasily
and
used to
maybe
say.
add some more theming. But then again, they're known more for an amusement park than they are a theme park. But I think people nowadays are kind of getting the two convoluted. They assume that they're in the same category when really they're not. Only us nerds know the difference.
Yeah. So Salim Basul, that's what he actually tried to do this when he became the CEO of Six Flags. This was before the merger, and he would call it. He would say stuff like beautification. He put out all these kind of crazy terms, but he would also like criticize people who he would call like Walmart patrons and so forth. Like, it was crazy what was going on right there. But he was trying to Chapek the parks back in the day when Chapek was actually the CEO of the Walt Disney Company right there. Very interesting stuff. And then the merger happened, and now Richard Zimmerman, he was the CEO of this combined entity, but now stepping away. Salim Basul stepping away as well. MJ, I want to know from you, Six Flags, what's going on? Does Matt have a point?
Yeah, I haven't been to Six Flags in forever. Why are they? Yeah, he just seems like he's trying to mimic the behavior of another, park authority, a person of authority at another park. Like, I don't understand why this is such a trend. Like, let's monkey see, monkey do. I've heard great things about Cedar Point. That picture you just showed was Cedar Point. I've heard amazing things about Cedar Point. I've never been to Cedar Point. I want to go, but this story is actually, I don't know what to say about it too much because of my lack of experience in this recent, timing of these places, because it's been so long. But this is not okay. He's even dressed like the big head honchos over here. If you know.
He was the CEO for a long time, and so that's kind of some of the visuals that you're seeing right there. Look, we were hoping, Nolan, I know you can back me up on this, and Lou, I'm going to go to your next. We were hoping that the Cedar Point or Knott's Berry Farm or like the kind of quality-oriented mindset of Cedar Fair would rub off on Six Flags, and so it would be like, hey, look, listen, the things that we complain about Six Flags, let's go ahead and address those issues, bring up the entire chain, and good to go. We're not quite seeing that, and instead we're seeing stuff that Six Flags has done, kind of inch its way into the kind of the Cedar Fair roster of theme parks right there. Lou, I want to know from you right here, Matt We Met, does he have a point, or should he keep his mouth shut?
Is he going to write a book or something?
He keeps commenting. I don't know. It's so bizarre.
Point? He knows that all the people he's telling they're wrong are going to say, no, you were wrong. That's why we got rid of you. He knows nobody's going to listen to him. He's got to know that. He's not a fool, or at least not other than his ego, perhaps. He just can't stand not being in the spotlight, can he?
Wow.
And you know what my namesake said about that? He said, stay out of the spotlight. It'll fade your suit.
My favorite quote of all time, by the way. I love that.
I think we have an old world term for guys like him, and I've never met him, and I've never watched all these interviews. The word starts with a P and ends with a Z. In the middle is UT. He's just being a jerk because he can. And why does he think anybody cares? Nobody asked him. Nobody wants him. He's had his wonderful career. He has all of his prestige. He should write a memoir and go away. Period.
I mean, no one.
I mean, he's not going to influence anybody. All he's going to do is make them angry. And so, net, isn't he smart enough to know that, or does he just not care because, by God, he's going to be ornery? Well, swell for him, but for the rest of us, if he was giving the secret of life and how to run theme parks, nobody'd pay attention because of the way he does it.
That's a fair point.
There's a familiar spot.
I have deep respect for Matt We Met because I understand what he did for Disneyland back at the time when they desperately needed a Matt We Met to be in charge and to reinvigorate that theme park and so forth. But that was then, and this is now. This is now.
Did you see the line from the chat that I gave you that wonderful Karen Owen says, does Six Flags have to use different shapes in their shape language than Disney?
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see it.
Oh, bravo, Karen. Bravo.
That is fantastic. If people, by the way, people should be very experienced with this, but if for those who don't know, when it comes to Imagineering, they prioritize certain things that maybe we don't as a guest, but they do. One of those being a shape language.
And so what we've tried to do is really bring that shape language from the architecture. But like what we love to talk about at WDI is shape language. And we often refer to shape language.
There's such iconic shape language in Spaceship Reverie Attraction. We really wanted to make sure that we fused to that throughout the space.
So very bizarre.
Yeah.
I don't understand, but that's what they're obsessed with right there. Nolan, I want to go ahead and end it with you. If somebody doesn't advocate for the guest, or maybe even the executives, who will at this point? I mean, in a certain way, you can say, hey, Matt We Met's words might be helpful, at least to some, not all. Nolan, your thoughts, please.
Honestly, I don't really have anything against this dude. I really appreciate what he did with the Cedar Fair Company since 2011, 2012. I think, honestly, kind of like when Lucas sold Star Wars, I'm fine with him, opening up some criticisms and stuff like that. But I have to ask the question of, like, when you have to think about successor, at least with, like, Lucas, you can be like, oh, I thought it was going to go one way, and Bob Iger kind of duped me into selling the brand. This, it's like, dude, you had an opportunity to have a better future ahead for the Cedar Fair brand. And whenever he's complaining here, I hate to say it, because like I say, I respect the dude. You are just bringing more influence to your own failure here on how this merge was handled. And because can anyone on this panel name somebody they think would be good enough to fix the mess that is not just a Six Flags mess now, It's the Cedar Fair mess now. Is there anyone here who's iconic, who's been like a pioneer in the industry, who's going to save this company? Because every time I'm hearing a news story about Six Flags or Cedar Fair year after year, it's the shocking news is, I'd like to quote the great Lou Osterman's ghost right here, somehow it gets worse.
Ha! Well, there were how many, wait a minute, when this merger happened, there were how many Six Flags parks and how many Cedar Fair parks?
It was about 20 apiece, roughly.
Is it that many for Cedar Fair? I didn't realize they were as big as Six Flags.
Yeah, they were pretty big. They were pretty
Because
big. Yeah.
it seems like rather than the Cedar Fair quality rubbing off on Six Flags, it's been the opposite, hasn't it?
It really does kind of feel that way, Lou. And that's, I think, why people are, they look at Matt Ouimet's words and you know, they do publish articles about it because in a certain way, he is right. And he is somebody who has kind of been at the top level right here. And so I think that's why people reacting to the story.
As
the way they are,
right
at least-
as he can be, by doing it this way, his influence is nil.
That's true.
And if
That's a good point.
he's smart enough to know that, or should be, and therefore it's his ego, not his desire to fix things, that's talking. That's the way I look at it.
It's just,
It's see, I told you so.
yeah, that's a fair point. Look, it's just, I was optimistic about this merger, and now after having seen what's happened to the Six Flags and well, really Cedar Fair parks and so forth, I'm just I'm not as enthusiastic about this whole thing. But hey, you know what? Hopefully Six Flags can get it together. I understand that they had tremendous pressures going in, and the market has changed. Really, it's not really a great theme park market right now. Hopefully that will improve on all fronts, at least for Six Flags. All right, I think that just about concludes it right there. And somebody in the chat actually asked this question right here from Bulldog9. What's a bigger mess, Disney or Six Flags? Six Flags, I think. Nolan,
Flags.
do you agree? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I was saying in the chat, like Disney World, for all our criticisms, is still like the most profitable spot of the Walt Disney Company. It's one of the most profitable like things in America. Six Flags, have they even been all that profitable since Dan Snyder messed up everything, Vash?
I think their last earnings report came out and like their attendance was down and their theme park spending was down, which is usually the kiss of death. And they also said like 90% of their income was coming in from like a couple of parks in the chain, which means like all the other ones are basically dead weight. And so what happens to those parks when you think about like, hey, do we have to close them? Do we have to rebrand them? Do we have to invest more in them? Like they're in a bad way. On top of that, they're talking about like selling the land out beneath their theme parks.
Which they've
or
already
around their theme
done.
parks.
They've already done it.
It's like, oh my goodness, like you're giving away.
Vash, I sure hope that they tear down the amusement parks and replace it with overpriced rental properties. I sure hope they do that.
So here's a question. Here's a question. If
Please.
fewer and fewer people are going to Orlando because of the expense of going to Disney, and fewer people are interested in spending that kind of money, and although the price of gas is down, the price of airline travel is not, why shouldn't these parks that are closer to people to drive to be doing better just as an alternative?
You would think so, and that's kind of
They
the weird
must
thing
really
about this.
suck is the answer to that question.
Right. And that's Nolan, you remember, right? I think in like 2022, if I'm not mistaken, like all of the amusement chains out there, Universal, Disney, SeaWorld, or Busch Gardens, or I should say, I think it's United, I think is what they're called. And Cedar Fair, they were all doing gangbusters business. The only one not was Six Flags. And it was like, how is that possible? It's impossible to do that because if every other brand is doing well, no matter what they're doing, you clearly have to be doing something wrong. Go ahead, Nolan.
Well,
You think it would be them because they have the most amount of parks. Go ahead, Lou.
except at least in Valencia with Six Flags Magic Mountain, a great deal of their attendance problem was people feeling unsafe because there were gangs and all kinds of scary violence at Six Flags there. and they didn't clean it up right away, and they didn't put the stop to it right away, and it only got worse. And people said, I'm not going there. I'm going to get beat up or robbed or hassled, and I'm sure as hell not taking my kids.
So it turned
makes
into
a
the
great
ghetto
point.
park, and it's got a ghetto reputation.
And yet it's sitting there in the middle of Valencia, which is hardly a ghetto, you know. So
And the
That's
parks
why
are dirty.
Flags. Mhm.
yeah.
It's
Like
reality.
Adventure
Like,
Island in Tampa. Nope.
Yeah.
if it looks like if your park
I will
looks
not
more
go
like
again
Walmart,
after the last time I went.
if your park more looks like a Walmart from the wrong side of town or a McDonald's where you're kind of afraid you're gonna get shot at, I'm sorry, that's not a theme park worth going to.
No.
Well, and Salim had a couple of comments in that direction, talking about the clientele that would frequent Six Flags and how he's like, oh, we got to get them out of there. We got to get out the freeloaders because people are buying into meal programs, dropping the kids off. I mean, it was a whole deal.
Babysitting.
Oh, it was really something. But remember, Six Flags used to be part of Time Warner back in the day, and they inherited a lot of debt, not just with that whole thing, but also when they were spun off, they made a bunch of both acquisitions and investments that just accrued all of this debt. And so Cedar Fair comes in here, merging with them. They are taking it on as well. Then they have interest payments that they have to look out for, and it's like, I think it was a bigger financial mess than I think Cedar Fair initially
They didn't
thought.
do enough due diligence into the finances before they made the deal. And
Exactly.
it's fighting him. Anyway, in other cheerful news.
Sorry, absolutely. Well, that brings us to, thank you for your attention on this matter, which we have to actually go to in order to see what Culture's got brewing up on his show. But before we get out,
Vash, is that the good news? The show's finally over? I thought we were a good time for the audience.
I wish I had a good story to share. Okay. You know what? The one
Here's
good thing,
news. Here's good news.
please.
Culture has great shape language.
That's a very good point right there.
Especially the
And
kumquats.
His garden has shape language.
Yeah.
Disney
Don't tell
Parks.
Lauren about it. Don't tell Lauren.
Oh,
The good news is that Disney Parks getting back to their roots right here and actually celebrating the 250th anniversary of
yes.
America's founding. That, I think, is pretty good news right there
And
because
the Soarin' Orbole.
I believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Pardon
That's
me,
true.
but I'll believe it when I see it.
Well,
that's very true.
New Soarin' is fantastic, I hope.
Yeah, they
But-
have a whole behind the scenes thing for the new Soarin' overlay, and I'm excited to see. I can't wait to see that next year.
Right. That is genuinely good news right here. And that, they
Have
were
they said how
pretty
long that's
anti-America
going to
for a
stay, and
while.
if they're going to go back to the old Soarins afterwards, or
At least during the celebration. And I believe it's going to run through the entire summer, if I had to guess. That's just me.
It's the
But
whole summer.
look, that
Because,
right
I mean,
there.
it opens
Look at
itself
this.
up to so many other possibilities. Soaring over Cleveland.
Well,
Hey,
Did you
at
see
least
the
you don't have
memes?
to. At least you don't have to worry about crashing there or stopping there, because in Cleveland there's usually not a lot of touchdowns, so we're good.
Yeah, but the shape language is
that got me completely off guard, Nolan. You can't do that. to me. You see the memes though, like this one, for example, right here.
soaring over Bucky's.
Soarin' over Bucky.
Soaring over Bucky's or soaring over, the I-4 right
Oh my
there.
God.
That's good American
No.
thing right there. People also talking about, soaring over Rivers of America.
Yeah, there you go.
Right
Hey,
there.
that's patriotic as heck, isn't it?
And Statue of Liberty is featured in the poster, but people are pointing out that it didn't work quite the last time. So there you go.
Yes.
And this has got to be my favorite right here from Imagineering on X. I just got to play it right here.
The one with the
It's-
feet. Yes.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. A real American original right there. Soaring over Home Depot. The feet and the music get me on this
I
one
love
so
Home
badly.
Depot. Can I soar
Yeah.
over Home Depot? It's like, who doesn't like Home Depot?
I know.
Hey,
It's very
as the
true.
one who lives in Germany, I wouldn't mind this. I miss Home Depot.
And
And this is what
instead
Lou
of
was
shape
talking about.
language, it's paint chip language.
Lou, I thought you were talking about this last night, by the way. Like, hey, for the international tourist, this is
You
actually
bet.
a big deal.
You
So,
bet.
That is
Yeah.
There are all these videos, Erica, of Europeans coming to America and being blown away by things like Buc-ee's and Home Depot and all the stuff we take for granted, Lowe's.
it's true.
And it's for Christmas besides. My goodness.
It's so much fun just going around and during the holidays to Lowe's and Home Depot. Yeah.
Oh, I love Lowe's and Home Depot. I could just stroll in either store for hours.
Yeah.
I could
And just
while away
imagine
the
projects
hours
that I'll never do, but it's
looking
just
at
fun.
heads for showers.
Come on,
Oh,
finish the
boy,
song.
right there.
Lou,
On
you're
your
on it.
Christmas trees.
I'm over here like dancing to your song. Da 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 da. Da-da,
Real Christmas trees, like
It d-
really nice, full Christmas trees. The ones here suck. They are like
Yeah.
the perpetual Charlie Brown tree everywhere you go.
Yeah.
They are,
Yeah, Germany,
Fugly.
get your tree game together.
They invented it, for God's sakes, didn't they?
yeah, well, it's fugly over here. I don't know what happened.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They also invented the Panzer. So,
Oh no. Well, it does look like they're this wouldn't surprise me too. I mean, people are really surprised that they're basically you got the company going almost full MAGA when it comes to the 250th anniversary. My big surprise was that the fact that they are filming right now over South Dakota for Mount Rushmore. There was a time in the company's history that they weren't all about Mount Rushmore, but apparently it will be featured in Soaring Across America. So there's
Can we see the insides? You're not allowed to go inside and see during this tour. That'd be fun.
this is what Pro wants. He wants us to go right up Lincoln's nose right
Yes.
there as part of a visit there. But
the world
very, very
never
interesting
had
stuff.
a good definition of the word nose hair. We're wanting one.
That's a great moment, Mr. Lincoln reference right there. I love it. But I also love shouting out our amazing panelists and what they're doing. Lou, we just talked about your Patreon, but it's worth mentioning it again. We got going on over
can
at
I
Lou's
tell
Views.
a very, very brief story about it? I mentioned it last night, but not everybody
Please.
stays up all night. I discovered that one of the features that Patreon offers their creators, which I am now, is oh boy, excuse me. Carrie.
Is it a drink of water?
Okay.
Don't worry, Lou. Lou is going to be just fine right there. He is
Anyway, a
just, more.
survey of members and what they're looking for. Well, it turns out the number one thing people are looking for from my Patreon is to have contact with their creator, with the creator of the site. The night before I saw that, I watched Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and I thought, so V'ger's going to sign up for my Patreon? Because that's what V'ger wanted, was contact with its creator, So anyway, we fixed the pricing issue that was scaring people away. Those of you who became free members, I encourage you to upgrade, because all you get with the free membership is that very first episode 0. There are 7 now, and I've got 3 more ideas that'll get done this week. And join us for all kinds of interesting stuff. In addition, of course, I'm here almost every Tuesday evening, and it is Tuesday, right? Yeah. And I'm with you, Vash, of course, every Sunday at 2:00. With in 76 weeks we've been off the air only twice. That's a pretty good record of.
That's a
the
pretty
show
good
must
record.
go
Yeah.
on. And then, of course, the genre guys, which the reason I was watching Star Trek: The Motion Picture was because our next double feature is that and Khan. And let me tell you something. Star Trek: The Motion Picture, for all the Star Trek: The Motionless Picture stuff that it got when it came out from some people, it looks really, really, really good, especially in the improved director's enhanced 4K edition that happens to be on Paramount Plus, and I highly encourage you to go give it another shot, because God, Bob Weiss was an amazing storyteller. Think about it. Robert Wise, the
It's a very
director
good
of Star
movie.
Trek, also directed Sound of Music, and was, among other things, Orson Welles' editor on Citizen Kane. Talk about a portfolio.
And the
It's pretty
soundtrack.
wonderful. Oh God, the soundtrack. And on that enhanced version, by the way, there's a whole prelude of just that kind of seafaring music, da 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 da. It's just, oh God. And I remember going to see that in the theaters and crying. And by God, I still did in that stuff where they're going out to the Enterprise. So that's shape language, guys, those 3 circles, not the other 3 at a certain place we find wanting lately. Anyway, I'll shut up now, but I'm around is the point. And if you'd like even more of me, come join Lou's Views. $5 a month for all you can eat. That's a pretty good deal. That's better than Golden Corral.
I love it. And Go and Chogi's got your link in the chat right there. Definitely check it out. I actually had to add a permanent link to the on our various descriptions for these videos. I will do that. But for now, you can go ahead and view it right there on the screen or in the chat. Definitely check out Lou's Views because it is absolutely awesome. And hey, we got the price thing all worked out right there. MJ, you've got your X account right there. What do you got going on in your neck of the woods? Have you launched any more social media that we should be aware of?
I'm still working on it because I really want the new year to come and start fresh, like for 2026. So I'm still, I'm trying to gather as much as possible, like start the year strong. And we're at the end of the quarter for 2025, but I am posting, and I fixed my name, for heaven's sakes, because nobody could really put it together. So I'm MagicalyMJ on Instagram, MagicalyMJ on X, very, very active on X. And I'm trying to keep up with all the latest that's going on. My goal is to help all the people out there, especially families, enjoy themselves and have a good time at the parks. Like today, you guys got a hack from me. You can go get really discounted gift cards. Do not give Disney all your money. Go buy discounted gift cards at BJ's. Save your family a ton of money on your next vacation. Those are the tips and tricks I want to bring to you guys. Anything I hear about resorts, about the parks, anything new, like it says on there. So let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I want to post as much as I can, and I do appreciate anyone who follows me on those social media outlets. So I do thank you guys very much for having me on here. You will find me here just about every Tuesday. I've been invited, and I will be here as much as I can. And I really enjoy hanging out with you guys and talking about all these things. So
absolutely, thank you so much. MagicalyMJ right there. We've got your social media, or at least your X account, in the chat provided by Go to Chogi. Thank you so much, and definitely check out for more useful tips right there, and get on the ground floor of the next hot thing with MagicalyMJ. Very, very cool. Nolan, I want to go ahead and hear from you. What do you got going on over there at Nolan Thunder?
Well, okay, so I don't have a new episode to plug, and I feel like I plug the same video every week, so I'm going to give you guys a curveball. In the nice playlist section over there, Vash, you're going to see a playlist. It's for my series, Lost in the Files. It's a mix of B-movie, horror, documentary, and comedy. I present it a lot like those old UFO shows you used to see on History Channel. I'm going to plug a certified hood classic here tonight, The Waluigi Conspiracy. It is based off an urban legend that you could get a secret character in Super Mario 64 DS, and somehow it spawned people talking about the second dimension. It was quite a can of worms. I read up a little bit on the other dimensions for it, and I was a little confused, honestly. But you have people harassing the Nintendo employees in the parking lot. It's a good time. So if that kind of video intrigues you.
Dimension. Golly.
Yes.
What about the fifth dimension? Does that put you in a balloon?
The fifth dimension will send you to enlightenment, and the only thing that is in the fifth dimension is actually Lou's Patreon. So you should probably try getting your chocolates.
Would you like to ride in my beautiful balloon?
Now,
anyway,
There's one more thing I got to address right here, Nolan, and that's with you with That Game Plays. Hey, look, That Park Plays and Geeks and Gamers are coming together in an amazing collaboration to give you some of the best content ever. Can we expect anything from That Game Plays that would see more Geeks and Gamers integration right there, or is it going to be the same amazing content that one can expect from That Game Plays?
We actually got our first ever Geeks and Gamers article actually integrated during our live show last Saturday. As you can see, there's a new video there, GTA 6, and it's possible $100 price point, everybody. We covered that a little bit. We get some recognition on that. We've been triggering out a lot more uploads here frequently to try to keep you up to date on all the sweet gaming news. Because I tell you guys, with gaming news, it's not a lot of the same song and dance. There's always something. It could be anything from a GTA car being sold on eBay, a person stealing Pokemon cards, to Xbox, literally the company being on fire at this point. But with the Geeks and Gamers merge, it means a lot of opportunity hopefully coming in the future here. Hopefully we're going to be reaching out a bit, making some big news happen, because, gamers is a major part of Geeks and Gamers as a name. So I think we have a really bright future ahead of us on That Gameplay. So please, and Vash, if you don't mind clicking on that live button right there, we've been doing a weekly show every Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So you can get up to date on everything that's going on in the gaming industry. And I tell you, it's a really fun time. Culture Casino, Kevin Apollo, even Trish been popping in from time to time. So yeah, if you want to see That Park Place, but with gaming news, please check us out. And with Geeks and Gamers on the horizon here, it's got a very bright future ahead of it, and I'm excited for it.
Yay.
Super cool. I love it. I love it. Yeah, definitely check out That Game Place. Definitely check out Geeks and Gamers Park Hopping. What's going on there? You'll know soon, guys. I'm telling you right now. Definitely check all of our various social medias out. Erica, from Erica and Ref, we got going on in your neck of the woods?
Oh, a lot of decorating and getting video footage, but have not had time to sit down and edit anything. But maybe I'll put up my little 33-second teaser of my reappearing bride that took me 6 frustrating hours last night to finally master.
Really?
Yeah, my scrim came that I thought was, that's what the professionals use, right? You just hang it up, plug everything in. It's supposed to work. Nope. So, yeah.
But if you'd like to buy a fast pass for $200, they'll show you how to make it work.
Oh,
And they won't do that either, by the way. Anyway, so I figured it out, just trial and error, and it works fantastic. I'm so freaking proud of yesterday. So yeah, I might put that out for a teaser. I'm a little skeptical to put anything out because our village for the first time is having a contest. So I don't want to let my secrets out.
Oh,
I'm kind of being stingy this year because I do want the trophy. I'm not going to lie. I want the trophy.
Absolutely. Hey,
you're gonna get it. You're gonna get the trophy, lady.
Absolutely, you are.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know what they're going to be judging on, so we'll see. But anyhow, so yeah, just Halloween stuff. Did outdoor decorating tonight, and it was freezing outside. And I started getting things squared away in this room where we do our big projection. So I cleaned it out. My son came up here and reconnected me after I disconnected myself. And yeah, so we got a lot of tech stuff behind scenes that's more time consuming than the decorating itself, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, so that's the update, but I will try and get something out. I'm very busy from here until November 1st.
I can certainly understand that. Definitely check out Hanging with Erica and Raph, so that way you know whether or not she got her trophy, and so that you can keep up on Halloween decor in the modern era. Very, very cool, awesome stuff. You can also check out Erica because she stream hops from occasion right there, Lorena, and I believe she's on the dish with Ron from Follow the Bradley's Fun and so forth. So definitely check out Hanging with Erica and Raph. Erica from Hanging with Erica and Raph. There you go. You can go ahead and follow me at That Park Place right there. We have, live streams every single Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Yes. We also have on this channel right now that you're actually watching, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can catch me on Hollywood Backlight with Lou and you every single Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. That is an awesome show. Definitely check it out. If you haven't already liked this video, what are you doing? Oh, go ahead. Lou.
Vash, I just found out the next genre guys that Pro has put up for Pro Channel members, and
Please.
It's the Magic Christian. Peter Sellers, Ringo Starr, Raquel Welch, Christopher Lee, and oh, what a wonderfully strange, twisted movie it is. And if you have become a member of the Pro Channel, as so many have, thanks to the generosity of others, and wonder, well, what does that get me? It gets you first look at the genre guys, and ooh, have you got a ride in store if you haven't seen it or don't know about it. So enjoy that.
When Lauren was talking about it, he said it was a very interesting picture. So definitely
A lot of shape language with
out.
Raquel Welch in it. What can I say?
Shape language.
It's a good point right there. But go joking. Hey, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Subscribe to T3PO. I would agree with that. We got to get you on over to Culture Casino and his thank you for your attention on this matter. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow That Park Place for all the news. That should be fun. Thanks, guys. We will see you later.